We often talk about trauma as something that just happens to us, whether it's a moment, whether it's an event, or an instant in time. But what if trauma isn't something that we survive, but actually something that we carry? And so something that lingers, that stays in our body, right, in ways that our bodies then tend to remember. When we witness or experience trauma, whether it's the sound of gunfire, the loss of a loved one, or instances and things that change who we are as people, our bodies never forget. And over time, those things we remember begin to wear us down. So in public health, there's a word for this, and it's called weathering. So weathering is the toll that chronic stress takes on the body, especially for individuals that experience high levels of trauma, violence, grief, discrimination, or inequality. It's also the understanding the places and the lives that we live and the experiences that we go through, right, tend to take shape in who we are and how it greatly impacts us as human beings. So when I first learned about the term weathering, it caused me to pause because I could see it. I see it in the communities that I work with every day. Individuals who are doing the right things. They're exercising, they're eating well. They're also prioritizing their mental health. And yet, they're experiencing high levels of trauma and diseases significantly earlier than expected. I see it in the nurses who never take days off. I see it in the mothers who bury their sons and daughters. I see it in the Black and brown children who've learned to make themselves feel so small to stay safe in this world. I've seen communities rise from tragedy, right, in different acts of violence. And so I've seen it in neighbors when they come together, not just to mourn, but to rebuild. We saw it happen after the unfortunate killing of Trayvon Martin. We saw it after Hurricane Katrina. We even saw it after the Tulsa race massacre. And communities have come together over time to make change, right, and make impact. And so they've also been able to bring back spaces that have been marked by loss. So that's the part of the story we don't talk about often, and that's resilience, right? And that's the refusal to be defined by the wounds that are left on us after these unfortunate incidents. Healing doesn't mean pretending that trauma didn't happen. It means creating a space to feel and name it, and then find ways through it, right? Because the thing about healing is at its core, it's a collective act. And so in health equity, we talk about access to food, to jobs, to opportunity. But the one part of access we don't talk about is belonging, to joy, to community, in ways that bring us together to celebrate, even through the trauma we go through. The greatest issue of our time may not just be the violence that we see, but when we forget to see each other. We tend to normalize grief so much that we forget what thriving looks like, right? Our well-being, who we are emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, right? It takes more than just medicine to get us there. And so the thing about trauma and grief is the fact that the truth behind it is that trauma, and the opposite of trauma, isn't just calm, it's community, right? And when we gather like we are here today to tell stories, to bear witness, and to remind ourselves of those that have been forgotten, we begin to change the very meaning of survival. So now as we turn and talk about connection on a significantly deeper level, I want to leave you with these few things. The storm may shape us or define us, but it definitely doesn't make us who we are. Healing is not the absence of pain, but the presence of possibility. And every time we choose to care for one another, we push back against the weight of weathering. And then we remind our bodies and our communities that we were never meant to carry this weight alone. Thank you.